Hi guys, and welcome to the second Vibe Talk on our Undefeated series. I hope you are all doing really well and have had a good week and are staying safe. Now, over this past week, I have been rattling my brains trying to think of something that I'm undefeated in. Now, it's been pretty hard because actually I'm probably not that great at most things, but I thought of one thing, one skill, and yes, I'm calling it a skill, as niche as it may be, that I am undefeated in. Okay, and that is the ability to move a chocolate or a biscuit from the top of my forehead all the way down into my mouth faster than all of you. Now you probably sat there thinking, do you know what? I could defeat you in that. No problem. I'm telling you right now, you're wrong. I will defeat you. Just check out how quick I am at this. So as you can see, I'm pretty rapid at it. So if you're thinking that you're going to defeat me, stop it right now, because you're not. I'm undefeated. I am the champion. I am the king of whatever you want to call that. Now, do you know why I love being undefeated in it? And why actually all this week that I've thought about it has brought me so much joy? Is because I have been on the end of some absolute thumpings in my day. And one that stands out in particular happened about 5 years ago, and it was in a game of football that I played. It was in our league. We were quite a newly formed team, and actually we were putting quite a good run together, so we'd won quite a few games, morale was quite high, and then we played in a game and we got beaten 16-0. That's right, you heard it, 16-0. I'm not proud, it does not fill me with joy, and I remember that feeling when we got into the dressing room afterwards of just being deflated, being annoyed, being angry with myself, angry with teammates, not really understanding what had gone wrong. People had got annoyed with each other on the pitch. It just wasn't a great atmosphere. And I don't actually really like to think about it much. Have you ever felt that? You ever been defeated in something really badly? How did that make you feel? Did you feel a bit like I did? Kind of deflated? Angry at others, angry at myself, annoyed, hurt? Maybe you did. Maybe you didn't, maybe you felt other things. In fact, maybe you feel defeated in other areas of your life. Maybe there's those unseen areas, those areas that no one knows about. Maybe they make you feel defeated, low, ashamed, lonely. We've all been there. I've been there. I'm still there. I have things that play in my mind that weigh me down. People around you do. We all do. We all have those things that defeat us. But today I want to say hang on in there, because what we're looking at in our Undefeated series today speaks right to the heart of those things. It speaks right to the heart of the things that weigh us down, that make us feel defeated. Because in the Easter story, when we celebrate Jesus' death. Now I know that sounds a little bit weird, celebrating Jesus' death, but actually it's only a small part of the story. Actually what we're celebrating, his death, is actually celebrating in what Jesus has defeated, which is incredible. So to kickstart things off, I just want to turn to Hebrews really quickly, and I want you to join me in it. It's Hebrews 12, chapter 2. And the writing in this is being written to the church, and actually is writing to say, do you know what? Keep fighting, keep going, keep enduring, even when things are difficult. And it says this: looking to Jesus, the founder and perfecter of our faith, who for the joy that was set before him endured the cross, despising the shame, and is seated at the right hand of the throne of God. I'm going to read that again. It says, looking to Jesus, the founder and perfecter of our faith, who for the joy that was set before him endured the cross, despising the shame, and is seated at the right hand of the throne of God. Looking to Jesus. Keep going. Keep on in there, even when it feels like things are defeating you, even when it feels like things are weighing down on you. Keep on going, because actually something incredible happened. Jesus died. And Jesus died for us. So today I want us to look a little bit more at that, and I want us to look at two things in particular that come with that, and two things I think we should know when it comes to Jesus' death. Now the first thing is that when Jesus died, he died for us, and he died to take our sins. He died on the cross with our sins. So I want to use this shirt as a way of kind of illustrating sin and what that kind of means or looks like. So if you can imagine, or not imagine, if you watch, I've got this shirt, nice and clean, nice and white, lovely shirt, lovely shirt. And sin, what is sin? So sin is a word that you probably heard quite a bit before. Sin is something that is in our everyday lives. The word may not get used that much, but it is something that we encounter. Sin is the thing that gets in the way of us and God. It's the brokenness that you see in this world. It's the abuse or the violence or the hatred or the evil. That's sin. It's things that we do wrong. And do you know what? When we sin, it leaves a mark. It marks us, just like this pen would mark this shirt. So when we sin, when we do something that goes against what God has created for us, it marks us. Just like when maybe you do something to annoy your brother or sister, it leaves a mark. Maybe it's when you disobey what your parents tell you, leaves a mark. Maybe it's saying something nasty about that person on Instagram. Maybe it's saying stuff behind people's backs at school or at home. Maybe it's cheating on that test. It all leaves marks. It leaves marks on our soul, on who we are. It weighs us down. And the choices that we make start to really take effect, start to really hurt us, and can really get in and amongst us. I don't know if you notice, I'm actually struggling to cut this. There we go. It can start to rip us open. It really does make an effect on our lives. It can turn the simplest of things into the most difficult. It can rip at the very fabric of who we are. It can weigh us down. It can make us feel like we're just living in kind of rags. It has an effect on us. It's not just something that leaves us unmarked. Sin affects our lives. And you know what? The only payment for this, the only payment and the way to get rid of this is through death. But that's not how God wanted it. That's not how God saw it. He didn't want us to go through the death that was needed in order to pay for their sins. And that's where Jesus comes in. Jesus came to take these sins from us. And that's the second thing. Jesus came for our sins. He died for our sins. On the cross, he took this so that we could take it off. So that we no longer had to wear it. So we no longer had it on us. In fact, actually, Jesus put it on himself so that we didn't have to wear it. But that's not all he did. There's more to it as well. So just join with me quickly and turning to 2 Corinthians. There's 2 Corinthians 5 verse 21. And this is Paul who wrote this. He said this, he said, "For our sake, he made him to be sin who knew no sin, so that in him we might become the righteous of God. For the sake he made him to be sin who knew no sin, so that in him we might become the righteous of God." What he's talking about there, he's just talking about he who had no sin, which is Jesus. When he died on the cross for us, he took our rags and our tatters and our marked shirts and he put them on him. But there was an exchange. In doing that, Jesus then gave us his shirt. His shirt that is white and clean and pure and righteous. He made that exchange. He died on the cross with our marks and our stuff so that we may be set free and be standing righteous before God. How incredible is that? How incredible that it's not the sin that defines us anymore, but it's Jesus's shirt. It's how Jesus is seen that defines us. That's what we celebrate in Jesus' death. That he died for us, that he died for our sins, and in doing so, he made an exchange so that we didn't have to pay the penalty for our sins. It's incredible. Now you're probably thinking, I kind of get it. I get what you're talking about, but I don't really understand how that has an impact in my life. I don't know what that looks like for me. How do I implement that in my lives? Well, I think there's 3 things that we can do. 3 things that can help us to make this feel like a reality for us in our lives, because it really is. The first thing that we need to do is we need to define what that sin is, and we need to name it. So at the beginning, when I talked about maybe there's stuff that sits heavy on us, stuff that sits on our mind, maybe it's stuff that people don't know or people do know, but something that weighs you down, it's naming it. Because once you name it, it no longer has power. You've named it. You know what it is. Bring it to the forefront. And then the second thing is starting to put things in place to help us steer away from it. Maybe it's putting more boundaries in place. Maybe it's, not checking in on that or not checking in on that. Whatever it may be, it's starting to put things in place to help us not fall down that same path every time. It's maybe talking to people around us. Maybe it's chatting to your youth leader or your parents or a close friend and letting them know what it is that's going on so they can help you stick to those boundaries. Start to put those things in place. And thirdly, it's bringing it to Jesus. It's asking him for help. Because the amazing thing is that whatever it is that weighs you down is defeated. It doesn't get in the way of Jesus. Like we looked at last week, that separation is already defeated in this death, just as much as that sin is. You stand before Jesus righteous. He wants to help you. Bring it to him. Bring it to him in your prayers. Because we will struggle. We will fall back down those paths. It's not going to be easy. It's not saying that all sin is now not going to happen, because we're human. It's in our nature. It is going to happen. There's no 2 ways around that. But what's amazing is we can come to Jesus. We can come to him who has defeated it already. We can come to him who is no longer separated from us. We can come to him and ask for help, because the amazing thing is that sin no longer defines us. We're not defined by that anymore. We're defined by this pure white shirt. We're defined by Jesus. Let his words define you. Let his words reign over your life. Where does it say you are loved? Where does it say that you are cared for? Where does it say you are cherished? Where does it say that you are my children? Let that define your life. Not our rags, not our sin. That's been defeated. That was defeated when Jesus died on the cross, which is amazing. So guys, what's going to happen again next is there's going to be a slide that pops up with some questions and some thoughts for you to mull over this week. So check those out, and we'll be back in again. We probably won't be on next Sunday because it is Easter Sunday, but I'll be doing a thought maybe on the Friday for you guys, just to tie at the end of this Undefeated week. But guys, remember, let the words that Jesus said define you this week. And check out our Instagram over the week as well for our daily devotions and stuff that you can expect to see. Guys, stay safe and have a great week. See you soon. Bye-bye.